Good evening. Happy Sunday, Ecstatic Selfers. Sorry for being a few minutes late tonight. We had some technical issues where I had to re-download the app to get things to work. So my apologies. I hope you're having a beautiful weekend. It's Labor Day. And it is a sincere pleasure to get to be here with you this evening to meditate, to do some spiritual work, and to come home to ourselves. So if we haven't met before, my name is Kay. I'm a spiritual life coach. And tonight I wanted to work on the very challenging idea of loving yourself. Now, maybe you're like me, maybe you're a bit of a fan of Drag Race, and you hear every episode end with the same refrain. If you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you going to love somebody else? Can I get an amen? And so there's this idea in our popular culture that self-love is easy. That in order to just love yourself, it's just gotta do it. Just gotta do it. And loving somebody else, so that's the harder work. But in my experience, I think each of us have had moments where we've loved someone besides ourselves. We've fallen in love, whether that was with a human or maybe an animal. I think we've all had a cat or dog that we've loved at some point in our life, maybe a goldfish. I think we've had family members we've loved. We've had that first person we fell in love with, whether they loved us back or not. That first person who we had sex with, we fell in love with them, I bet. I know I did. First person I ever had sex with, I literally could not go within 8 blocks, half a mile of their apartment building without bursting into tears the first 3 years after I had been with that person. So I think we do know how to love others. And yeah, relationships are hard, and yes, negotiating love with another person takes a lot of deep soul work, that we can only love somebody else as deeply as we've learned to love and accept ourselves. That is true. But sometimes loving somebody else teaches us to love ourselves. And this idea that you can't love someone else till you love yourself can be a bit of a misnomer. Self-love is the work of our lives. And yes, hello to everyone saying hello. Nice to be here with you. Glad to be here. Sorry for being late. Technical issues. Had to re-download the app. Glad to make it. So oftentimes we think we're unworthy of love. We think we're unworthy of love because of things we've done in our past. Sometimes we think we're unworthy of love because things we are currently doing, things we think, the way we look, the way we were treated as children by our caregivers or our peers. I know that was a huge one for me for a very long time. I know many of you probably have seen some of my videos where I talk more about my personal history, but my family, part of the reason my family moved at the end of 5th grade was to change school districts to give me a new start, because I learned that I was unlovable. I was picked on so much, and then it actually got worse after the move in middle school, where there literally wasn't a day I didn't weep and weep. Everyone made me feel that I was unworthy of love. Everyone told me I was unattractive, gangly, awkward, queer, femme, annoying. I sat alone every single day at lunch. I walked home alone every single day from school. A significant part of my early adult life was reprogramming that. I literally couldn't get a date in college. I asked out three individuals and got laughed at by one of them, stood up by the second, and then, ghosted by the third. It took me a long time to believe that I was worthy of being loved. And it took even longer for me to actually start to find myself beautiful, to find myself as somebody who could actually be attractive. the ways in which we self-disconnect or self-sabotage are many and profound. And thank you for the comments of solidarity. I know I'm not alone in this. I know many of us have explored maybe not the same, but similar feelings of disconnection. So we hear this narrative of, I'm not worthy. Or we see in ourselves, in our reflection, something that feels broken. Or we see in our histories something that feels deeply shameful. And we end up feeling alone. And not the kind of alone that gives solace, not the kind of alone where you find silence and peace, but the kind of alone where you're not with yourself. You're separated from yourself. Unworthiness has been a struggle for most of my life. I've gotten significantly better with it. But to truly love oneself, what is that like? What is it like to feel I am worthy, I am gorgeous, I am radiant, I am beautiful, I am just astounded at the life that I have. I feel so lucky to be me, I feel so blessed, I feel so sexy, I feel so wonderful, I feel so deserving. Not in an arrogant way, not in a, oh, I'm so much better than other people way, but no, I'm just deserving. I'm deserving because, and ultimately I think this is the place we all have to get to, is I'm deserving because I live. For me, so long as self-love is tied to qualities that I can attain or achieve, that I am kind to others, that I am a good spiritual seeker, that I worked out at the gym, that I did my yoga practice, that I cooked my own food, like that I did these things. So long as self-love is conditional, that means that there is always a danger that it can be revoked. That if I fall off the wagon, if I do that thing again, then I am again unworthy of love and belonging. I am unworthy of loving myself. It becomes a dance that we do every day to make sure that we are going to be able to love ourselves today. And I don't know about you, but that's effing exhausting to me. The other option, and the one that I try to lean into more, is that I am worthy of loving myself because I exist. And every sentient creature, everything that lives and has consciousness, whether that's a plant or an animal, my dog's outside the door wanting to say hello, or my husband, everything that has sentience is deserving of feeling love, of feeling respected, of feeling like they have a place, that they are entitled to life. And when I tie self-love to the unconditionality of I exist, therefore I am worthy. I breathe, therefore I am worthy. Then it becomes a little bit easier for me. Suddenly it doesn't matter if I'm good enough. I live, therefore I'm good enough. I live, therefore I am deserving of love from others and most of all from myself. And then when if I want to take it a step closer to conditional love or closer to the individualized self, me who exists in this body, this brain, for me, what is the most well-lived life? What is the most beautiful incarnation of consciousness? And for me, it's those individuals who are connected to their soul who live from a place of generosity and compassion and love for others and dwell in an expansive, joyful state. And so even if I want to take it kind of back down to a more worldly, individualized paradigm, those individuals who are doing soulful work, in my mind, are the gems on the planet. And as somebody who succeed or fail is trying my best every day to live soulfully, to be kind, to come from a place of love and compassion, even for those I don't understand or dislike. Somebody who tries to be expansive, someone who tries to grow. Knowing that that is where I'm living my life, then doubly so, I should give myself permission to love myself. But it's hard, you know? We live in a world that doesn't value those things. I mean, I do feel very blessed to live where I do and the time that I do, to be an American with all of our faults and baggage and bruises and black eyes. I am happy to be an American alive at this time. I'm very proud of my heritage and the life I get to live. I feel very blessed to be here. And at the same time, I also acknowledge the fact that I think one of our biggest struggles as Americans, and maybe it's not even Americans anymore because our culture has been so damn exported and been colonizing the rest of the world, but this idea of rampant capitalism, rampant consumerism, that we have to have the best, the newest, the strongest, the fastest, the sexiest. And if you aren't constantly upgrading, if you aren't the newest, hottest model, then you should be disposed of. Right? Oh, girl, you still got an iPhone 5? Throw that shit away. Go get an 11, a 12, a 27, whatever number we're up to now. Oh, well, that person's been hitting the gym every day for 7 years. They're a lot more worthy than that person who has been sitting at home reading books. This is the culture we live in. We live in a culture that says that which is most desirable is more worthy. And I don't care how damn attractive you feel or how young you feel. I know for myself and for many people I've talked to, it's never enough. I spent most of my 20s working as a professional actor and got to go on auditions and work on projects with some of the most gorgeously beautiful and successful and talented and intelligent people on the planet. None of them, I think, with very few exceptions, were satisfied. Very few. Most of them still felt not successful enough, not rich enough, not pretty enough, not young enough, not whatever enough. It doesn't matter how much you have, you can still feel deficient. I mentioned in my book, Journey to the Ecstatic Self, a story of a fashion model, chiseled, amazing body, who have a slice of pizza and then refuse to leave his apartment for a week because he feels so gross. And it's like, girl, you look exactly the same. So I really do think self-love tied to conditionality, it's a losing game. It's a losing paradigm. You'll never be rich enough, thin enough, sexy enough, whatever enough. You never will be. You never will be. And the further you get along that way, the more you just feel like, oh fuck, I've got further to go. I'm sure many of you have had that experience, maybe with the gym or trying to train for an athletic event, where when you start off, you're like, look at everybody here. They're all so much better than me. They're all so fit. And then you make some strides in that direction, and a few months go by, or a few years go by, and you look around and you're like, I don't remember that person being so scrawny or that person being so slow, but I might be faster or bigger than them or fitter than them, but I still don't look really good. Look at all those people over there, those huge guys or those ridiculously fast guys. They're the amazing ones. It doesn't matter how far you go. There's still people better. And you just start shifting and saying, oh, that wasn't real strength. That wasn't real speed. That wasn't real beauty. I still have to go further. it's a losing paradigm. It is. You know, when I met my husband, one of the things that I was so delighted by was the fact that, yes, he found me attractive. He thought I was beautiful, which is lovely, right? You know, that's nice. We want our partners to find us sexy. But the thing that he found most beautiful about me was my soul. He made that abundantly clear. What he loved about me was the light in my heart and the way in which I lived, the being that I am. And I feel the exact same way about him. You know, that, yes, I think he's so beautiful and attractive. But what's most beautiful about him is his soul. That he glows. I love him for the man he is inside. When we did our wedding vows, he stole a text message I sent to him and included it in his wedding vows back to me. He said, "I can't wait to make love to you when you're 85. You're going to be too beautiful to behold." And I see that, I think of that all the time as, you know, we've been together 7 years now, and he's 8.5 years older than me, so he's 42. And, you know, I watched us both over 7 years getting older, getting wrinkles. He frequently comments on his bags under his eyes now. And I was like, they're there, they're annoying me. You know? We both are going through that process, but the amazing thing is I know I love him and he loves me, not because of how we look, but because of how we glow from the inside. Wouldn't it be amazing if we could give ourselves the same permission to love ourselves in the same way? To love ourselves deeply, deeply, deeply because of our internal beauty, our internal worth, rather than just what we've achieved or what we've done or who we've been. And if you're like me, if you're somebody who identifies as part of the LGBTQ community, that's a really hard journey. I think it's much harder for non-straight, non-heteronormative, non-cisgendered individuals, because we as queer kids learned worth through conditionality. We learned worth through our achievements. We were told we were good boys and good girls and good individuals because of our grades, our athletic prowess. We felt so unworthy because of our differences, that we felt dangerous, that we felt different, that we felt we could be excluded because of who we were. Whether we knew it or not, what we were, we knew we were different. And so this is a lifelong battle for most of us in the LGBTQ community, to let go of tying worth to achievement or beauty or money or accomplishment. Because again, conditionality, so long as love for another person or for yourself is conditional on what I do or achieve, then it can be taken away from me at any moment. It can be stripped of me at any time. And that is a horrible way to wake up every morning. To think, what do I have to do today to prove my worth, to prove my love, to prove my being deserving of being loved. So today, I've been talking for a while, but today I want us to meditate on this idea of, I am worthy of love and belonging. I'm worthy of loving myself and belonging to myself because I exist. And that is enough. That is enough of a reason. So we're going to do some work on that, and I'll just put a little disclaimer here, which is, if you really take this on as your manifesto, your creed, you start to realize that you also have to start treating everybody else this way for it to be true. That if you really want to believe that everyone is worthy of love, respect, kindness, you might need to check your Twitter feed. Yeah, might need to check the comments you've been leaving on that blogger, that Instagram profile, that email you sent, how you talked to your mother, to your coworker. That truly everyone is worthy of love, kindness, belonging, and respect. I mean, it's a good place to get to, but it means we got some growing to do. So if you're still on board, buckle up, lean back or sit up, whatever you need to do to get comfortable. You can close your eyes or take a soft focus down in front of you. And we're going to do some work together. Now, I am going to try and get us to go a little bit deeper inside. So I'd like to invoke some energy to open some gateways, to break through some of the shit that normally keeps us from accessing our heart. And one of the best ways I know to break through obstacles is to invoke the elephant-headed deity, Ganesha. This is a very special Ganesha I have. I brought him back from a trip to India, and he officiated our wedding. He was there that morning. We did a puja on the beach together in Mexico, and we're wed under starlight. So he's going to be here with me today doing a little mantra. The mantra to remove obstacles is Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. I'll drop that in the description for anybody who's joining us later and watching this playback. It's a mantra to remove obstacles and to open doorways. Om Gam Ganapataye Namaha. 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 Gam Ganapataye Namaha. Om 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 Jai Ganesh, remover of obstacles, guardian of doorways and temples and sacred spaces. He whose ear separates this realm from the one above us. Hear my prayer tonight. May all sentient beings, especially those who are engaged in this meditative practice this evening or who are doing their own work to evolve, may we come to know our own worth. May we come to know our radiant, divine selves. May we come to believe and know with certainty that we are worthy of love from others and most importantly from ourselves. May we come home to ourselves. May we please all dwell in a deep state of self-love, unconditional love, not attached to the ego, to the limited sense of self, of this body, this mind, this moment, but deep self-love for the cosmic self, the self that is eternal, the self that never dies or ages, the self that passes from lifetime to lifetime, from incarnation to incarnation, until our journey ends, dissolves back into cosmic consciousness, back into the oneness, and then eventually the universe respawns and we again take differentiated shape and start the whole multi-millennia, many long years process again. May we know self-love. And let me ask also, let my words tonight be healing for the planet, for those who listen. May I speak words and hold a space that is of value, that is able to help elevate the condition of my friends, my fellow journeyers of soul. And may we do good healing work here tonight for all. Thank you, Ganesh. Namaste. Breathe into your heart, the center of your chest, the Anahata chakra. The next chakra meditation I'll be posting. I've been doing a journey upwards, posting a video every other day or every day. So come to your heart, the center of your chest, the center of your soul. The Anahata chakra, the heart center, is where your cosmic self exists. The heart center is the seat of your soul. Bhagavan Nityananda, a great saint in India, famously said, "The heart is the hub of all holy places. Go there and roam. Go there and roam." And it's so damn true. Your heart is just as sacred, or even more so, than the most worshipped in temple, the most beautifully stained glass cathedral, the most sparkling natural vista blessed by spirit. Your heart has all of that and more. Your heart is the hub of all sacred spaces. It is the seat of your soul, the seat of your consciousness. And so ask yourself, ask your higher self, ask your spirit guides, your guardians, your protectors, your gurus, your teachers, your guides, whoever you want to ask. Ask if you can know that divine self within. Ask if you can experience the knowledge that you are whole, you are worthy, you are magnificent, that you are so worthy of being loved. That there is no such thing as sin. There's nothing you could ever do to separate you from the God within, because that God is you. There's nothing you could do to diminish your worth, to make you less worthy. Yeah, you could do things that make you forget that you're worthy, that kind of pile on a layer of shit. But that glowing ball of self is still there. That radiant, magnificent, amazing, ecstatic self inside is still there. So if you want to meet him, or her, or them, ask. Just simply ask. And then see what happens. When we go into a sacred space, like the heart, in a state of surrender, and ask for something that is aligned with our highest good, if you ask for it, it will happen. I can't tell you when. It might be this moment. It might be tonight when you go to sleep and you dream of it. It might be walking the dog later the week and suddenly you're hit with self-realization. Maybe it's 17 lifetimes from now. I'm sure it's not that long, but it doesn't matter when. It will happen. So ask if you can experience my divine radiance and that I am worthy of love. With every breath, feel your heart open, your chest expand. And observe when you sit alone and quiet with yourself, with your thoughts. What do you feel? Are you being given an experience of your ecstatic self? Are you being gifted with the bodily knowledge, not just the thoughts, but the bodily knowledge of your worthiness for self-love? Can you feel it? Like a light bulb inside your heart, like an ocean wave crashing on a dry shore, letting it saturate the ground with water. Can you feel it like the roar of a tiger beside you? Can you feel it like the spring growth coming out of the frosted earth, the first little green and purple and yellow things coming up through the snow? Can you feel it like a gong in a temple? Can Can you feel your radiant self and know that you are worthy? That you know that you are deserving of love and acceptance because you are. Shanti, shanti, shanti. Ha! Ha! Cha! Cut through all the bullshit keeping you from yourself. Hey! Crack open the egg. Ha! Yeah! Humana. Be here with you now. Om Namah Shivaya Gurave Shisha Samsara Harine Bhakta Karyeka Dehaya Namaste Chitsaratamne Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunatu Sahaviryam Karavavaye Tejasvinavaditamastu Mahavivishavaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. You are worthy of love because you exist. You are deserving of loving yourself because you breathe. Come home to yourself now. Walk through the door. There's nothing to fear. There's only light. There's only you on the other side. Know that you are worthy of love and feel it. And if this is a struggle for you, if you're having a hard time finding self-love in this way, then perhaps working from the other direction is useful. Instead, maybe think of those who you love, those family members, those friends. Think of those pets. Think of those people who have showed you kindness, who went out of their way to help take care of you even if they didn't need to. And notice that spark that alights within. That which you give, you receive, generally speaking. So if you've offered love to others, can you feel that love come back to you? Can you feel that because others have loved you, they must see something radiant, even if you can't not, even if you're blind to it right now? Om Namah Shivaya. I bow with respect to my inner self, the self of all. Om Namah Shivaya. We're all one. When you love another, you love yourself. There's no difference between us. We think we're so different, we're not. We're all the same soul stuff off on our journey, going different places. We're all the same. And so when you treat another with love, you are also treating yourself with love. Because your brothers and sisters are more you than you realize. And that is another reason we should be kind to everyone. Respectful, loving, even those we hate, even those who spit at us, even those who attack us. Can we just love? It's such a pleasure to get to share this space with you all. Thank you for taking times out of your very, very busy life to him do some spiritual work this Sunday evening. And if you're watching it in a replay, thank you for watching all 40 minutes and 17 seconds. What? That's heartily impressive. I know very few people watch the whole thing, but if you made it this far, good for you. I'm very impressed. Well done. Well done. I'd like to end tonight's practice with connecting with gratitude, because that which I am sharing has been very generously given to me, and as I've shared it with you, you will continue to pay it forward. You will go on and pass on the light, just like one candle lighting another, which then lights another, and no candle is diminished by the sharing of their light. They don't burn any faster because they pay it forward. So let's end with some gratitude for that which we have received, going all the way back up through our lineage of ascended masters, we can call them. Those beautiful, beautiful bodhisattvas and Buddhas and deities and gurus and teachers and guides and all those wonderful people who have helped us way back in time. Bring your hands to your heart. You can do palms together, you can do palms on your heart, whatever feels good to you. And feel gratitude. Gratitude for this evening, gratitude for these teachings, gratitude for this community that we're building and the space we're sharing. Gratitude for the love we feel, gratitude for the bodies we have, gratitude for the lives we walk. And let that gratitude start to pool over into your hands, and then offer it upwards like a golden beam of light ascending heavenwards. Just offer that gratitude up. Off to your ancestors, to your teachers, to your guides, to whomever. And whenever there's a gift offered, there's a gift received. So as you offer that gratitude up, notice if you feel a gentle rain of love coming back at you. And in that way, we dwell in flow. Giving and receiving is much better than holding. Pay it forward. Pay it forward. Well, thank you all for your attentiveness. If anybody has any questions that came up, feel free to type it in right now. You can always also shoot me an email if you'd like, or DM on social media. This week I'm exploring a lot with chakra work, so I've been doing videos on each of the individual chakras. They're great to watch individually, but I think they're even more effective if you start at the root and work your way through all 7 videos and get to the crown, until you have a deeper understanding of your subtle energy and your energetic body. You'll be handicapped a little bit. Oh, thank you, Craig. That's very kind of you to say. Just paying it forward. Just doing my job, being of service. That's all I'm doing. Some people sweep floors. I do those. It's all beautiful. Yeah, and if you've been loving this work and want to, part of the Golden Age movement, I am not sure what the Golden Age is, so I'm going to say no. But I don't know, maybe I'm just not aware I am. If you like this work, we're going a little bit deeper with it on Patreon. We're creating weekly themes and doing some additional meditations and videos and exercises there. So check out patreon.com/ecstaticself. It's been a really lovely experience of seeing people interact more and more and really building that sense of community. I know several people on here in meditation tonight are doing that, so thank you. Thank you for helping to establish community. And I know I've said this before, but I'll say it again. Oh, I'm very glad to have that. Which Sri Amma Bhagavan. No, the Bhagavan I was talking about was Bhagavan Nityananda, but if we want to be real, they're all the same. We're all light bringers. We call each other different names, but really we're all doing the same work. And I'm sure he stole it from somebody too, so maybe he stole it from her. I've said this before, that we need spiritual community that's inclusive, that's queer, that's accepting, that is non-judgmental, that is saying you as you are whole and beautiful and radiant. And they just don't see that enough. And so doing this YouTube channel, doing my coaching practice, doing Patreon is an attempt to start to build that community. We bought this house out in rural Maryland, 35 minutes outside of DC, to start to have enough space to start doing in-person events, and eventually want to move towards doing a retreat center. So I'm really actively working towards this idea of creating an inclusive spiritual community for people who are doing this kind of work, who believe that every part of them is beautiful, holy, and sacred, and that they can bring all of them to the table. Their naughty bits, their dangly bits, their icky bits, all of it is part of the journey. So that's what I'm working towards, and I am so grateful to get to be a part of this with you. Well, I've talked enough. I am going to go finish my making of the dinners. I made pizza dough from scratch tonight, which I have not done in about 8 years, but my husband's out of town, so I get to eat carbs. And I think I kind of messed it up because my husband accidentally thought flour was protein powder and mixed it in with the protein powder, so we'll see if it actually rises. If not, it's just going to be high protein pizza dough. Such a pleasure, David. So yes, I'm going to go make my pizza now. I hope you have a beautiful rest of your evening. Again, thank you so much for your time. It's such an honor to be here and sit with you. Such beautiful, radiant spirits. Much love. Namaste. And now with respect to you. Bye, y'all.